Alright guys, this is on carbon compounds. This is from chapter 2, section 3. So let's begin with carbon. Carbon is pretty essential to life. Pretty much anything inside of our body contains carbon. And carbon has 4 valence electrons. Remember that valence electrons are those electrons that can be transferred, or they can be given or shared. Right? So we can actually give them away, or we can share them. So carbon can form many strong covalent bonds. Remember, a covalent bond is the type of bond where electrons are shared. They're not given completely away, we are sharing them. And they can be, carbon can make these bonds with many other elements. For example, we have hydrogen, we have oxygen, we have phosphorus, sulfur, and nitrogen. And in the parentheses, I have it shorthanded for you. Every living organism is made up of these molecules that consist of carbon and typically bonded with other elements. And carbon can also be bonded with carbon itself. So you can have carbon bonded with a carbon. Okay? And there, because of this bonding with many different carbon atoms, we can have so many different structures. We can have millions of different structures, and you can see them at the bottom down here. We have methane, which is typically in gas form. And the rest of these you're probably not going to recognize, but you could see the different kinds of shapes that we can have. You can have a single, a double, or a triple covalent bond. Remember, again, those covalent bonds, covalent bond is sharing. So should we have sharing of electrons that happens between all of these carbons. And we can also have rings that are present. We can get many different types of structures, very complex or very simple. Secondly, let's talk about macromolecules. So how do we go from one carbon being attached to many carbons and getting basically what is known as a giant molecule? Macromolecules will literally translate into giant molecules. Macro meaning giant, and then obviously molecules. And we can get these macromolecules by by way of polymerization. Polymerization is simply taking smaller molecules and joining them together to make larger molecules. That is called polymerization. So we can start off with a monomer, and that is a fancy name for something that is in its smallest unit. And this will join together and we can form polymers. So if you take a look at this picture over here, it's kind of like taking a piece of a Lego, right? You have one tiny little Lego, and if you connect them together, you can make some sort of structure. A building, if you have Star Wars Legos, you can make Star Wars characters, Star Wars battleships, whatever. Okay, so we're going from this one tiny small unit, which is known as a monomer, and we can link them together through chemical reactions, and then you will get a polymer. The monomers in a polymer can be identical or different. So if you see in the picture, we have different colored monomers. They don't have to be the same sort of element or same sort of atom in order for them to be linked together. You can still go from different types of monomers making one entire polymer. And that's it for this lesson.